Hi everyone, happy Saturday and happy first day of May. So busy month ahead, but today we are looking at the busy month I just left behind. This is my completed pages video, completed coloring pages for the month of April, and I had a pretty respectable amount. I think it was 25, 26 pages. I'll put it down in the description when I do the final count. Um, I kind of waxed and waned when it came to coloring this month. Like there were some days where it's just like all I want to do is just sit and color, and then other days where I was just like I just want to do anything but color. I again am pretty surprised at the number when it all fell into place, and considering running anywhere and everywhere this month. And I got colored a colored pencil page done. I got like project pages done, and it's again, it was a really productive month. So let's get started. Anyway, one of my 10 books to finish for the year, and a year-long tag I'm participating in, Whimsy Girls 2021. It's being hosted by the Coloring Diva. Um, I had to play a little catch up this month. Hang on a second. Let me think for a minute. I had to do like an early morning mumbling, talking to myself moment where I was like, wait a minute, did I get all the pages this month? And I do have a coffee. Each month she shows which pages we need to color. If we get behind, of course, we can catch up. All she asks is that we don't work ahead. So what threw me is in April there were only 2 pictures, and there's normally like 3 or 4. And so I was behind coming into the month because I had not gotten the Mardi Gras picture done. This is turning into like a try different things kind of book for me. And I don't know if you guys have noticed that if you've been watching these videos, but this is where I try a lot of different stuff, and I think about different scenarios for these holidays and stuff. And like this is kind of one of my big creative outlets when it comes to coloring right now, which is fun. I just a lot of times don't want to color things the way it should be colored, or should be the way you would expect it to be colored. I want to do something different, I guess. So my catch-up picture was the Mardi Gras picture, which we have here. And yeah, so again, kind of trying to do something different. Instead of going with Mardi Gras type colors on her costume and her mask, I decided to do the background bright colors and then make her more just golds and oranges and blacks, like make her more neutral, I guess. So I wish I could remember the tone of the marker I used for her skin, because it is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And of course, I don't ever write anything down. So you can see the shinies right here and the sparklies. So we've got dual metallic gel pens for the confetti. For her skirt, I used an orange dual metallic, actually for her entire dress. The mask is a combination of black marker and then those metallic gel pens. I also added some little gold metallic into her hair. Used glossy accents on her eyes. Then I used my new Ranger pearl, what's it called, liquid pearls. I have like the classic pearl colors, which I do want to get some different colors. But I ended up using 2 different types. It was like a slate and a black color. I don't know. I thought they actually turned out really nice. The texture on them is very, very soothing when you rub your fingers over them. So anyway, I like how it turned out. I mean, it's not on my list of faves, but I feel like what I was envisioning when I did it came through looking the way I wanted it to. So then we had the Easter picture at the start of the month, and here is mine. This feels like this was months ago, y'all. Like, it does not feel like this was just, 3 or 4 weeks ago. But indeed it has. So washi tape border there. Any chance I get to use my washi tape makes me happy because it just sits there. For this, I mostly just did marker blends. I think I used mostly my Arteza Everblend, not the new ones, the old school ones, for most of this. Then I come in with some neon gel pens, regular gel pens, some dual metallic here for the little candy bar wrapper. It's getting to the point I'm using the dual metallics in just about, especially every picture in this book. So you can see them in the balloons back there too. But like neon gel pens for that. They were the neon, what are they called? Solar Pop? It's not Solar Pop, it's something. The Pentel neon gel pens. And yeah, and then I used a white paint marker to dab and kind of give her that fuzzy look, and then try to cover up the lines there, which I liked. This one's more classic style, but of course I had to give her pink hair, because I had to do something different. So she got her bright pink hair, which went perfect with it. So turned out really good. I I tell y'all what, marker blending really is my jam. It probably gives me the least amount of anxiety when I've got my colors right. So, and then we have my most recent picture that I posted. And it's a little hard to see it just because sometimes when I hold it up, certain parts of it are really glittery and other part, or not glittery, but shiny, and then other parts not so much. Okay, so I saw the baby shower one, and I do not have kids. I do not have a nurturing child. Well, I say that. I used to have a stepson, and that was fine, and I feel like I did a pretty good job as a stepmom, but I don't really have a naturally occurring nurturing bone in my body. So the baby shower one, I don't know. I saw it and I was having a lot of trouble with figuring out what I wanted to do. And then I was like, you know what would be really cool? I mean, because they have baby showers. They've had baby showers forever. So why don't I put like an late 80s, early 90s kind of twist on this? And so I got her the bleached blonde hair with the roots. And I'm telling y'all, I Googled the hairstyles, and that's pretty much what the majority of them looked like, is they had blonde hair throughout, and then they had like the roots showing. I don't know if that's necessarily the look they wanted, but that's the look I went with. And I still think her hair looks pretty. Like, I mean, nothing wrong with that. And we did the kind of teal and purpley, violety color scheme here. So the background was blank, and I wanted to do, this sounds so terrible, like I was not trying to make this an ugly picture, I promise you. But y'all know that really, and I say that and then I use the word again. Y'all know like that really, it's ugly now, but back in like the 70s and 80s and 90s, like that really, really lacquered wood paneling that was everywhere, or maybe it was just here in the South, I don't know. That was kind of the trend at the time. So I really wanted to recreate that. And so I used a ruler and then like a pit pen to, get the little black indents there. And then I saw this really neat little quick tutorial on drawing like wood, like circles and knots and stuff in wood. And I wasn't looking for anything that was like perfect artist rendition. I just wanted something that kind of gave you that pattern. So I did that. And then I used the glossy accents that I have to actually go over it. And so now you've got that heavily lacquered wall paneling. It actually worked out really well. I was super tickled by that. Anyway, sorry, I'm still tickled by it. Last minute, I put the feet on her dress. I was going to try to do something a little brighter and more 90s for her dress, but I spent a lot of time on this picture when this really wasn't my favorite picture to want to color, but it turned into something fun. Um, Gel pens and, brighter colors, of course, for the gifts, and then a washi tape border. So overall, oh, and I gave her the bright light blue eyeshadow with the chalk pastel. So I like it. I think you guys liked it too. I was really surprised. It had a really good reception on Instagram. So anyway, I don't know. I have a lot of fun with those. Again, some of the pictures I'm not as enthused to color, so instead of just kind of being like, oh, I'm just going to get this over with, I try to think of something a little different. And it actually turns, like that one, it turns a lot of them into fun pictures for me. Asterisk disclaimer when I have the time and energy to be creative. I had 3 buddy colors this month, and I'm going to put their Instagram handle if they don't have a YouTube channel, and then their YouTube channel if they have a YouTube channel. So I did. I had 3 buddy colors this month. My goal was 2, and I had 3. Ooh. And thank you to all 3 of my buddy color people because they were super patient with me, because I really desperately wanted to do these pictures, and it was just getting so hard for me to find the time to do it. A Million Cute Animals by Lulu Mayo. This is one of her newest releases. I did this one with Michelle Kimber, and I think it's MLKim70 or something on Instagram. I'll link that in the description. And we decided on this picture. Actually, I won't bring it up. I don't trust my webcam stand this morning. So I went in with Arteza watercolor pencils as a base around everything, and then it's a Caran d'Ache Neo Color 2 for the background. And then I went in with the Brett Ferner square pencils to go over the Arteza watercolor pencils to kind of try to do a little more shading. I didn't want to do normally I can do 2 coats of the watercolor pencils and get the shading I want without having to use any regular colored pencil, but this time I'm wanting to really try the Brett Ferners out. I didn't like how they went over them. I don't know if it was just because of the paper had been wet prior, maybe. So I'll have to try them in another picture just on their own, just to make sure it's not, this paper in of itself or whatever. And did that, and then add a little bit of white gel pen in, and then used, of course, my dual metallics. You can see the shine of the balloon there, and then the little bits and bobs around it I used the dual metallics. Those really are my favorite gel pens now. I get my sparkle and my kind of metallic sheen all in one. So yeah, I really liked this picture. Even with the water I used, you can see the paper warped a little, but it didn't warp as much as like Amazon paper. And with all of that, if you look on the other side, again, a little warping of the paper, but none of that ghosted through. I haven't really tried a lot of stuff in Lulu Mayo books other than colored pencils, so I like showing this. So yeah, it didn't really ghost through or show through any of that. So there's that one. Uh-oh, I gotta start I showed you, pal. This one, woo, buddy. Hang on a second. Alright, so I did a pencil picture in this book, and I did a buddy color as my very first picture in this book. Well, I'll talk about that in another one. Sorry, just remembered something from the other picture, but it's fine. Ren from Ren's Coloring Craze wanted to do a buddy color in this book, which of course I was dying to color in this anyway, so I was like, yes, let's do that. And then, of course the month got to be the month that it is, and she had to wait on me a little bit, and I appreciate it because I had an idea for this one. as I seem to be getting a lot of lately. Whew. You see that colored pencil shine. Hang on a second. There we go. That's a little better. All right. So I had an idea for this one. So yeah, we buddy colored this page. I believe she's got her completed pages up this morning. So definitely, I'm going to link her YouTube channel in the description. Go check hers out to go see her version. And again, same for the ones on Instagram. Definitely go check out their versions as well because I love them all. Like, I really do. So we picked this page and it made me think of a grid, and it made me think of the types of grids that you would do with like watercolors or sometimes with like a small pack of colored pencils where the top row has the colors and then so like the top row has colors, the left side has colors, and then for each little block you combine those colors together. And so I was that's what made me think here. It's kind of like a swatch. It is kind of a swatch, but a different kind of swatch. You know, like trying to see what blending two different colored pencils together would get you or something. I was thinking of those types of charts, and I was like, what if I did this in a similar way where the top row would be certain colors and the side row would be certain colors, and so therefore I could only use certain colors in each little section. So where is a pen? Because I can show you guys with the paper behind it. So for example, what I did here is the top row, and sorry for my handwriting, green, blue, purple, and then black gray. Now some of them I had to use it looks like six ray, whatever. And then along the left side I had yellow, orange. I think here, so like here I had yellow, and then I had like maybe some orange yellow as well. Here I had mostly just regular orange colors. And some of these I might have, oh, we had brown here as well. This was red and red orange. And then this one was pink and like red violet. So does it, of course, camera can't show it all. Having that grid, this probably makes a little more sense now. So that's what I did. So like here, I just did green and yellow. For this one, yellow and blue, yellow and purple, yellow and black and gray. So hopefully that makes a little more sense as to why I picked the colors that I picked. This is all with Brett Ferner colored pencil and then a little bit of white gel pen. This was actually a really good idea for those, like if you really want to test a set of colored pencils and you want to make sure you test as many of them in the pack as possible, do something like this, because let me tell you, I had the majority of the pencils out and using them with the different color combinations and stuff. So this really kind of put them through their paces. And it was fun, and it's a fun way to play with color because, like, you know, I love that one. There's certain ones that I love, right? Like, I love that one. I love that one. I could take or leave that orange background. That just looks hideous to me with that brown. So some of them weren't wins, but like, I would have never thought to just do oranges and browns and grays, but I really, and blacks, and like, but I really kind of dig that picture, right? And I'm not a fan of pink, but like that pink and black looks really sharp, and so in the future I might be more likely to use a pink. Oh, I think I used peaches down here too, so. Anyway, again, of course I had to make this more complicated than it needed to be. And of course I had to put in backgrounds so I could play more with the colors, but it turned out really neat. It took time, of course, to do all the backgrounds and everything, And y'all be proud of me. I didn't use hard pressure. I actually was being really gentle with my layers and stuff on this one. So, because I realized, I don't know if it's in all her books, I've never had this issue before, but if I'm pressing too hard, it'll actually kind of create texture back here. And I just didn't want a whole bunch of texture on that other picture. So, definitely go check her picture out. But yeah, this was my big to do this month. I spent a lot of time on this, and it turned out exactly like I wanted, and I'm glad I did it. If I come across more pictures like this in the future where there's a lot of little pictures, this would be, again, a great exercise with a new set of colored pencils to really kind of put them through their paces. So, anyway. Thank you, Ren, again for being patient with me on that one. Now that I've taken y'all through my weird brain, my third buddy color was with my friend Tammy, the lovely Tammy. We have turned this into our project book. This is cool too because this is one of my 10 books to finish for the year. And so we're kind of working our way through this book together and doing a picture each month, though we might have to rev that up a little bit. I don't know. I have to see how many pictures I have left. And we did this one this month. We did the little, I guess, Nessie Loch Ness Monster looking one. And again, I had to do weird stuff. Apparently, not weird stuff, just different stuff. So, again, I used a lot of colored pencil in this picture. So, y'all, I have 3 pictures this month I've used colored pencil in. That is unusual for me. So, marker base, except for him, and if you can see, doesn't like to show it very well, does it? Oh, it would have really helped if I put, this back. Oh, there he goes. I used the Arteza iridescent paint on him. Ooh, he really sparkles. Look at that. I used my Arteza iridescent paint on him. There was a green and like a red orange. And then he also has some clear stickles on him. Don't know if you can see that. Yeah, Instagram, as we all know, it's really hard. There you go. You can see a little bit there on the scales. It's really hard to show like sparklies and stuff. Anyway, so he's got that. I tried to use my new neon paint for the different little sea creature things. And the thing with the neon paint that drove me crazy was that it's not very opaque. Like, you would have to do multiple layers to really get it to be good and opaque like the way I wanted it to look. So I ended up giving up and going back over it with some neon acrylic paint pens and probably gel pens, and then of course went over the lines with those as well. I also tried to use my gold paint on the star. Again, didn't really work so well, so I had to go in with, I think, a paint pen or something. And then, of course, you can also see some dual metallic. Oh, there's some stickles along the water at the top, too. And then there's shading all through here with the Brett Ferner pencils, which did pretty well on this paper. So the water, all the surfaces and stuff are all shaded with those. I struggled with the browns in the set. Like, I don't feel like there's enough browns, really. But anyway, that turned out really cool. Again, just a fun little page. Just want to do something different with it. Seemed to be a theme this month for me. Wish I could feel good enough to do that every month, you know. This was, I think, one of like, what, 2 coloring chats I had this month? You know it's bad when I'm so busy I can't even talk. This was my first page out of Spectacular Spring Scenes, Color by Number by George Tufexis. It was also my first time using the Tell Tree markers. This was actually the swatch set I come up with. If you were just curious and you like using those markers in this book, this is the ones that I pulled that seem to work really well, and you'll see those in a minute. So, oh, there we go. We did this picture. I see his pictures and I'm like, oh, they look complicated. But then I start coloring one and I get into it, and then it gets done and it just looks stunning. All of his pictures just look stunning. And I get done and I immediately want to do another one. And I have to spread my love to all my other books. So it's hard to. I didn't get back to this one. I'd like to do another one in here for May, though. I wanted to try out the towel tree markers in here because I like using markers in this book, but bleed is a problem in the small spaces. What I learned with those little bitty round towel tree markers is that they don't bleed as much as the bigger markers. They do, some of the colors did a little bit, but not to the level that a bigger marker, even with the fine tip, would. I loved using them in this book. That's why I went ahead and swatched them. I will absolutely be using them in his books in the future. It's a perfect compromise between me wanting to use marker and being able to use markers so that it doesn't bleed into everything around it. And then I used a little bit of white Posca paint because, like I said, there is some bleed and it was covering up a lot of the white on the butterfly, so I just had to come back in with Posca. So very cool. Like I said, I might actually put that in my to be colored for May as well. Part of my 10 books to finish, another one for the month. Well, this is the second one. I actually did pretty good in these this month. We did this one. I do like the color combos in here. The backgrounds to me sometimes get a little routine because they all seem to be just yellows and blues. So anytime a different type of background comes up, I always dig it. And I do love me some purple. So there is my purples. And then just did this one the other day. Again, kind of that light yellow background, but with the pinks in the forefront. I like how they really pop. And I don't use pinks much, and I actually really like this combination. You're like, well, did you write it down, Michelle? Oh, well, of course I didn't. That would be the logical thing to do. I also finished 2 whips this month, you guys. One of my goals was, I do have a pile of long-term whips, and one of my goals this month was to finish 2 of my whips, and I actually did it yesterday. I was so proud of myself. I didn't think I was going to get this one this month. You've probably seen this in a flip through this month, Fantasy Landscapes. This is the black background by Questopia. I'd started the very first page when I first got the book just to try it out, and then kind of just abandoned it. It's a very complex book in that there are a lot of small areas, and this is their 50 color palette, not their newest one. So it felt a little overwhelming with the colors and the small areas, but I did go back and finish it yesterday. And this was also another great one for the towel tree markers, because when I went back in with those, again, I didn't have to worry about marker bleed as much. They do bleed a little, but finish this, and I love how it looks when it's done. Like, again, this was another one, when I got done with it, I immediately was like, okay, let's go to the next page. So, was super proud I finished that. So we got that one. Then I did a lot of Questopia coloring this month. A lot of Questopia coloring. It was scratching that coloring itch, which kind of sounds a little gross when you think about it, but I mean that's pretty much what it was doing. Questopia's large print color by numbers for adults with the black background. Did 2 in here. I did this one, which I was just gonna, most of these don't that have just the pictures themselves that aren't full scenes don't have a background. But I want to add in a background because I gotta make things more complicated than they are. I was using a light blue in the background and the marker ran out. And I couldn't find another blue that looked like it. So I got mad and I was like, fine, we're just going to go in with dark blue. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. Really probably should have just left the background alone there. But I couldn't just leave it with a little bit of streaky blue right here and that's it. I had to do something. So then I did this one last night with markers, and I used a confetti crown in the background. Oh my gosh, what is up with my lighting this morning, y'all? Oh, goodness. Alright, there we go. No. Oh my gosh, this is so frustrating. Anyway, you can see it. It's very light. I used a confetti crown in the background and then used a alcohol blender, colorless blender over it. It's there. I promise it's there. You may not really be able to see it, but it's there. Anyway. Alright, so yeah, I just want something really light in the background. That did exactly what I wanted it to do, plus use up less marker doing that. So I don't know if the alcohol blender really did anything to the confetti marker. Plus this was a little bit of a trial because I have another picture, probably Tuesday's video, where I'm going to be using another one of those on the background. And I kind of wanted to try it just to see. Anyway, it gave me something in the background, a very light texture. It's kind of a very light blue, light brown with a little bit streaks of light blue in it. So if you're looking at it, like I said, you can see it. You just can't see it in the video. 10 books to finish. Space coloring book by Questopia. Did a few this month. We have this one that I posted on Instagram, which is super cool. Well, I gotta get in gear on this one and start doing a couple pages a month instead of just like one page. Then I did this one, and when I come through with the white Posca pen, the blue was bleeding through. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. I don't really understand the logic. So I ended up grabbing the no bleed stuff that I just picked up a few months back, this Dr. Martens, and I just used a little brush and just dabbed them on there, and hey, look what happened. So I'm pretty excited to use that stuff on some red and oranges because that's where I really get bleed through when I try to use white over it. Cactus and Succulent coloring book from Questopia. The space coloring book, I'm generally just sticking with the indicated colors. Everything else I seem to be doing something a little different, but for that one I'm actually just coloring it as the creators intended. So this one I mixed up a little bit. This is one of their re-releases of an older book. I've been waiting on this one. Used to just have the white background. This is their oldest color palette. They've kind of went through some different iterations of color palettes. And the background here, I used 2 tones of beige when it was just supposed to be the one. And anywhere where there was like a big clump of color that was the same color, I tried to vary it a little. Like on the bike, this was all supposed to just be one pink, but like I used a darker pink in certain areas just to give it a little bit of an extra visually pleasing to me kind of thing. With the greens, like I have so many green markers that for some of them I use 2 tones instead of just one for the different leaves, again just to give it a little bit of an extra effect. I do love this book very much. I'm having a big problem in that I want to color in all these books, but I also want to keep coloring in all these books, and I just don't have time for all to do all of them. Flowers and Gardens, their newest color palette, I think hopefully will be their permanent color palette. I do like their newest one, by the way. I think they finally hit it with this one. So, Flowers and Gardens. Again, this is going to be a little bit different for me because I'm hoping with most of these pictures, I'm going to use two tones of markers for each color. So like the light blue here in the background, I use two different tones of light blue. Some areas it will just create like a subtle outline. Other areas they almost blend seamlessly. So I wouldn't really call this a technique. This is just a different way to color these instead of just one straight color, just using two different tones if you have the ability to do that. But I just loved it. I don't know, it's something about it where that darker tone creates a little bit of shading. It just makes it pop more to me. So there's that one. And then we did this one in the last coloring chat I did. Turned it into a nighttime scene with a darker sky and some stars. See, like this dark blue, I put white Posca over it. It was fine. It's so weird. So weird. Certain markers it does it and certain ones it doesn't. But use the two tones again here. Loved it. Loved it. Except I had a little problem with the clouds, but y'all saw we fixed that. So hopefully I sprayed that. Yep. So most of the color Questopias, I'm either working back to front or front to back. It's just, I like all the pictures in them, so I'm not really, I don't feel like I have to mill around in the book with a lot of these because I just like all the pictures. 10 books to finish. I have made it a personal goal to finish this one first out of those, and then I didn't do hardly any pictures in it this month. I thought I did so many more than it turned out. So we've got the turtle, which I dig. Oh, missing one. Peacock. And this one, the cactus, which again, I'm really digging succulents for some reason in coloring. It's just been a thing lately, so of course I really love this picture. I'm trying to figure out how many do I have left. 2, 3. I should have put this. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 11. Okay. I don't know if I can set this as a finish for May, but maybe a goal to finish in June. That might be the way to go. Animals, Stone Mosaics by Belva Family, by the way. Animals, One Color Arts by Sun Life Drawing. Again, I was kind of bouncing around in this one, and then I just started kind of working my way through it. So this month, we did Mr. Eagle. Sorry. I try to pick a color that I could pick a totally wacky color, but I don't know. Like with the eagle, I was like, what would work? And the next one is a squirrel, so I didn't really want to use brown, so we went with a dark gray, and it turned out really pretty. I like it. Try and do at least one of these a month. Same thing here, Creative Kittens and Cats, spirograph type picture. It's called Lines and Spirals Coloring Book by Color Questopia. I feel like I'm saying that a lot today. And again, we are working our way through this book, and I did this little guy. He's so cute. Oh my gosh, y'all. I'm going to put a link in the description. But Lisa's Coloring Corner has found a site where you can create your own spirographs with your own pictures. and she has a video where she talks about, shows some she's done and downloaded, and I wanted so badly. I had a couple pictures that I really wanted to try this month and just ran out of time. But I'm going to put the link to that in the description, because let me tell you, I may not, other than cat related ones of course, I may never have to buy another Spirograph again, because I'm just coloring using that, which of course they have like a tip thing and stuff, so you wouldn't want to just completely take advantage. Like any free thing, try it. If you like it, send the creator some love. All right, so I saved the mosaic type books for the end, except for stone mosaic, which I should have included in this, and I'm sorry. For those of y'all that, like me, want to remain like these books, in that you don't want to see the answers, you want to color them and then see the, figure it out yourself, what it's going to be. That's what these types of books are, and that's me. That's how I like to color. So I saved them for the end, so that if you don't want to be spoiled, that we're wrapping up the completed pages. So then if you don't want to be spoiled on any of these, I'll see you in the next video. So, and I do apologize, I should have included stone mosaic in these. So, Mystery Colors Jungle Animals, part of my 10 books to finish. Like I said, I did really good. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there was only 4 I didn't color in this month. Is that right? I might be right. Anyway, got a couple done this month. Now this book, I will say, you get a lot of the same colors in these pictures. These browns, these greens, this light yellow, and then these grays. You're gonna see that a lot in this book. Now some of their other ones, I got their dinosaur issue because it uses a lot of different colors in it. I don't mind it in here, and it does help me use up markers, but just FYI, if you get bored easily using the same colors over and over again, just heads up. So we got this dude, which looks like a furry little bug. I have no idea what these are because I'm not looking at the answer keys. But anyway, furry little bug with a horn. Let me see what, these insects have a hard exoskeleton, 2 sets of wings. Some varieties will eat the insects that damage agricultural plantings. Others can wipe out entire crops or forests. Impressions of their bodies were used as jewelry in ancient Egypt. So, it makes me think of a scarab beetle. I don't know if that's what this is, but... And then we got this handsome guy, which I totally dig. Fun fact, the natives of the island where these giant lizards are found call it land crocodile. These carnivores are nearly 9 feet long, and their saliva contains so much bacteria and venom that one bite is deadly to their prey. Alright, so don't want to invite him over for dinner. Got it. He probably wouldn't like what I was serving anyway. But yeah, here, like this dark orange and stuff, you see that a lot in these. Like I said, very similar colors. There's a pink sometimes that comes into play. I think the next one's a cat. I'm super excited about that. Anyway, they use very similar colors. So if you do get bored easily with using the same colors, just FYI. I had to do one out of my Precious Wow Cats by Bella Family, which is my favorite of their mystery mosaics. Not a surprise to anyone. And I wanted to try the Tau Tree markers in here. So we did this guy. Now, the background, I went ahead, the peach type background, I went ahead and used like a shuttle art or something, just because of the sheer size of that one. But for all these little squares and for the cat itself, I did use the Tau trees. And again, much easier to use those, less bleed. I also found that for areas like this, just moving in an up-down pattern seemed to give me more success than just scattering all over the picture like I normally do. I like all the different colored little blocks. I thought that was cool. I'm going to eventually black out the background on it. I just haven't had time to do that. I'd like to go back and do that for all the pictures in here. I haven't done it for him either, but, or him. Or him. Okay, so maybe I'm not. I thought I was. I did it for other ones, so I don't know. We'll probably just leave them. Anyway, so I do like the towel tree markers for these smaller mosaic square type books as well. Again, towel tree markers. I didn't think they were really useful for me, but because I have the fine tip on a lot of my markers, but let me tell you, I am quickly becoming a fan of them for all the little small space color by numbers that I like. So, and finally, my second whip of the month that I finished was out of Color Quest. I started this dude a while back. Actually had some video that I never shifted to that I was planning to do as a voiceover, and it never happened. And then I kind of just abandoned it. Wow, it was crazy how much that color changes just flipping around that light. Anyway, sat down yesterday and finished him. So we've got Fishy Dude now. Again, I'm working like back to front on this one. I have no idea what these pictures are because I'm not looking in the key. So we got Mr. Fishy, and then the next one, it's got a lot of colors. I'm really curious about this one. Pretty big triangles though, so I might stick this one in my to be colored for May. Alright, so there we go. Again, I will put the final count in the description. I will put the links to my fellow buddy colorists. I will put the link to that spirograph thing that Lisa's Coloring Corner showed, and anything else. Probably the links to the books, like I usually do. I don't know, sometimes they're hard to find on Amazon. That's one of the reasons I do it, because like I can type in the book and the author, and like even if I just put in part of the title, like it will show me stuff that is nowhere related to coloring books. So I think sometimes these get categorized in areas that they shouldn't, like they're not marked correctly, so it can be hard to find them sometimes. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. I know it's been a bit long, but tomorrow we're going to look at how many goals did I accomplish in April and what am I doing for May. I also got a new planner, so you guys get to see that too. Anyway, and what am I coloring? Most importantly, I guess, what do I plan to color for next month? So thanks guys for watching, and bye for now.